and gentlemen, welcome to our 9 p.m. English News Edition. Here are the top stories. The head of state receives a Yemen delegation led by the Ministry of Planning International Cooperation. And for the international news, lawmakers are now one step closer to ending the longest government shutdown. The details now. The details of this tonight now, as I mentioned, the title is Excellency Al-Haj Ismail Umar Guelleh received this morning at the Presidential Palace a high-level Yemeni delegation led by Wael Abdullah, Minister of Planning and International Cooperation, and Acting Minister of Telecommunication and Information Technology. During the meeting, discussion focused on ways to strengthen bilateral cooperation between Djibouti and Yemen, particularly in the strategic field of telecommunications and information technology. The talks addressed the shared interest of the two countries, both of which occupy strategic location on the Red Sea, positions that grant them a key role in regional and international communication infrastructure. The two sides also emphasized the importance of developing cooperation between Djibouti Telecom and Tele Yemen, especially in the installation and management of undersea cables in the Red Sea, as these are essential projects for improving digital connectivity and enhancing technological integration between the two nations. The meeting concluded with both parties reaffirming their shared desire to consolidate fraternal relations and expand cooperation in various vital sectors for the benefits of the two brotherly people. And now we listen, the Ministry of Planning International Cooperation of Yemen elaborated on the main objectives and purpose of this important visit. In his words, he highlighted the significance of strengthening the long-standing ties between Yemen and Djibouti, emphasizing cooperation in areas such as telecommunications, infrastructure development, and economic partnership. He also outlined the shared vision of both nations to enhance regional connectivity, promote mutual investment opportunities, and work together to achieve sustainable development for the benefit of their peoples and the broader Red Sea region. And for his part, the Minister of Communication and Post and Telecommunication, His Excellency Radwan Abdullahi Bahdon, explained that the main objective of this visit is to deepen discussion on the deployment and strengthening of Red Sea cables connecting Djibouti with its regional partners, particularly Yemen. The minister stated a working session was held between Djibouti Telecom and Tele Yemen, during which we jointly reviewed ways and means to enhance this vital infrastructure, especially the submarine line connecting our sister country, Yemen. In addition to other cable projects currently under study, we also signed a cooperation agreement to unify our effort in this strategic initiative to show the world that here in the Red Sea it is possible to build a strong digital bridge that connects people. And now this distinguished diplomatic celebration was held last night at the Ayla Hotel, where the Embassy of Algeria in Djibouti hosted a grand reception marking the 71st anniversary of the outbreak of Algerian Liberation Revolution. The event was attended by a number of high-ranking officials, including Mr. Dr. Ahmed Robli Abdillah, Minister of Health, Dr. Nabil Mohamed Ahmed, Minister of Higher Education and Research, and Honorable Dilaita Mohamed Dilaita, President of the National Assembly. Also present was Abu Bakr Omar Hadi, Chairman of the Ports and Free Zones Authorities, along with several ambassadors, representatives of international organizations, and distinguished civil and military figures. The Algerian ambassador to Djibouti warmly welcomed his guests in an atmosphere of cordiality and fraternity. The ceremony began with the playing of the national anthem of both countries, a moment filled with emotion, followed by a symbolic act to cutting of the commemorative cake, met with applause from all attendees. Throughout the evening, the discussion highlighted the depth of the fraternal and diplomatic relations between the two nations and their mutual determination to further strengthen bilateral cooperation in various fields. The event embodied the spirit of African brotherhood, transcending formal protocol to reflect genuine human connection and practical collaboration. The evening stood as a tribute to the memory of the liberation struggle and as an opportunity to reaffirm that the sacrifices of the past continue to inspire the path of solidarity and shared development. In his speech, the Algerian ambassador to Djibouti expressed his great delight at this celebration, warmly welcoming all distinguished guests and emphasizing the importance of the occasion in commemorating the 71st anniversary of the Algerian Liberation Revolution. He highlighted how such events not only honor the sacrifices of the past but also serve to strengthen the enduring fraternal and diplomatic ties between Algeria and Djibouti. The ambassador also noted that the gathering reflected the shared values of freedom, sovereignty, and solidarity, also symbolized the ongoing commitment of both nations to deepening cooperation, fostering mutual understanding, and celebrating the historic bonds that unite their peoples. And now Dr. Ahmed Roble Abdel, Minister of Health, in his speech expressed his deep pride in participating in the celebration of the 71st anniversary of the outbreak of the Algerian Liberation Revolution. He emphasized that this important occasion serves not only as a moment to renew pride in the noble values of freedom, courage, and sacrifice that shaped Algeria's historic struggle for independence, but also as an opportunity to reflect on the enduring bonds of friendship and solidarity between Algeria and Djibouti. The minister highlighted that commemorating such milestone inspires current and future generations to uphold these shared principles, strengthen bilateral cooperation, and continue fostering the spirit of unity, resilience, and commitment to the development and prosperity of both nations. And now, as part of its parliamentary activities, the Foreign Affairs Committee, chaired by Deputy Abdurrahman Awali Yassin, convened to discuss the draft law regarding Djibouti's ratification of the Middle East Green Initiative Charter. The meeting was attended by Mr. Mohamed Abdelkader Moussa Helem, Minister of Environment and Sustainable Development, accompanied by senior members of his team. The committee reviewed the provision and articles of the agreement related to the country's ratification. Following an in-depth study, the committee issued a positive opinion in favor of the draft law, which will now be referred to the plenary session for discussion and approval by the National Assembly. Although commission under the chairmanship of Deputy Kaltoum Farah Saeed, the Legislation, Public Administration and Human Rights Committee of the National Assembly held a morning session dedicated to studying the draft law establishing the National Cybersecurity Authority. Representing the government at the session was Mrs. Mariam Hamidou Ali, Minister Delegate in charge of Digital Economy and Innovation, accompanied by senior technical staff from the National Cybersecurity Authority. During the discussion, committee members examined the various provisions and clauses of the draft law, conducting a thorough analysis of its content and objectives. A series of proposals and amendments were also presented, aiming to enhance the effectiveness of the legal framework governing cybersecurity in the country. At the conclusion of the meeting, the committee decided to refer to the draft law along with the deliberation and proposed amendment to the agenda of the next plenary session of the National Assembly for official adoption. And also this morning, the Ministry of Interior of the Republic of Djibouti, in collaboration with the IOM, International Organization for Migration, launched a consultative workshop aimed at developing a national action plan and roadmap within the framework of the Khartoum process, which focuses on managing migration flows and combating irregular migration amidst growing regional challenges. Workshop was held at the Isla Grand Hotel with broad participation from government and security sector representatives, NGOs, and international agencies, highlighting the importance of a multilateral and participatory approach to addressing complex migration issues. The opening ceremony was presided over by Suleiman Moumin, Secretary General of the Ministry of Interior, in the presence of the EU mission representative and head of the regional section, as well as the head of the IOM program. In his opening speech at the consultative workshop on collecting information for developing Djibouti's national action plan under the Khartoum Protocol, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Interior expressed the country's official desire to transition from observer's status to full membership in the Khartoum process. He outlined three main objectives for this membership: active participation, decision-making, and full contribution to regional solution, leveraging national experiences through our bilateral cooperation mechanisms and operational capacities, enhancing security and information exchange to address cross-border migration challenges that require collective responses. He concluded by affirming that this step reflects Djibouti's firm conviction and genuine political commitment to support regional cooperation and address shared challenges. The second day of the HLB Global Regional Conference for the Middle East and Africa 2025 was held this morning at the Kempinski Palace Hotel with wide participation from experts and representatives of economic institutions from 3 continents. This gave the event an international dimension, reflecting the network spirit of global cooperation openness. The second day program included interactive discussion, technical workshop, and important meeting bringing together leaders and experts in accounting, economics, and finance from Africa, Europe, and Asia. Discussions focused on updating accounting practices, digitizing financial services, also investment strategies in emerging markets. Participants emphasized that hosting the event in Djibouti enhances its standing as a prominent regional and international hub for consultation and exchange for expertise in economic matters. And now sport, the Swimming for All program organized under the supervision of the Secretary General in charge of sport in collaboration with the Djibouti Swimming Federation and in partnership with the Sovereign Carbon Agency successfully concluded its activities after 3 months of intensive training. Launched in June, the program provided 21 children with the opportunity to learn swimming skills under the guidance of qualified trainers. It also promoted participation in sport activities, raised awareness about marine environmental protection, and enhanced the physical and mental health of the children through sport. During the closing ceremony, participating children performed impressive demonstrations showcasing the skills they had acquired. The event concluded with the distribution of awards to the best swimmers amid applause from families and attendees. This program reflects the successful collaboration between various institutions in promoting education, sport, and sustainable development. In line with the Sustainable Development Goals, the Sovereign Carbon Agency reaffirmed its commitment to support a future education, sports, and environmental initiative for the youth of Djibouti. In his speech about the Swimming for All program, the president of the Djibouti Swimming Federation highlighted that the project ran from June 1st to August 31st, 2025, providing many children aged 8 to 12, especially from underprivileged backgrounds, with the opportunity to learn swimming. He noted that the program included a 30 training session, which contributed to child safety, increased self-confidence, and personal development. The Federation President expressed his gratitude to the State Secretary in charge of sport for its continued support, the National Agency for the Promotion of Sport for providing infrastructure, and the program's main partner, the Sovereign Carbon Agency, for fully funding the initiative. The Regional Directorate of Customs in Tajurah, under the supervision of Mr. Ismail Shide, carried out a large-scale joint operation that resulted in the seizure of 9,477 kilograms of smuggled cat in Dora district. The operation was conducted in coordination with the National Army and National Police as part of ongoing effort to combat illegal activities in the country. The seized cat was subsequently destroyed by burning in accordance with the legal procedure and under the supervision of the relevant authorities. And now, as I mentioned on the title, the U.S. Senate voted 60-40 in favor of a deal to end the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. Senators convened at the Capitol on Sunday in an extraordinary session aiming to resolve the paralysis affecting the federal government. Several Democratic senators, including Dick Durbin, Jeanne Shaheen, John Wiserman, Catherine Cortez Masto, Maggie Tim Kaine, and Jackie Rosen voted in favor of the proposal, as confirmed in their statement on the X, formerly Twitter. Republican Senator John Cornyn of Texas also voted for the bill, helping reach the critical 60-vote threshold required to pass the funding plan, giving the Republicans 53-seat majority. Despite this vote, the government shutdown is not officially over, as the bill must still be further discussed in the Senate and approved by the House of Representatives before taking effect. Now we're going to Philippines, where authorities in the Philippines announced on Sunday the evacuation of over 1 million people as as super typhoon Fangwang approaches the archipelago. At least 2 deaths have been reported so far. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration reported that the typhoon made landfall on the eastern coast of Luzon Island in Aurora Province, bringing strong winds and heavy rainfall. This comes less than a week after Typhoon Kalmeji, which claimed more than 220 lives. One central province reported its first death due to the new typhoon, while authorities continue to warn of widespread impact across the country. And now this is it for this 9 p.m. English News Edition. Thank you for watching us. Stay tuned for more on RTD.